This week, a phone is born, and we're exclusively behind the scenes. Can artificial intelligence block the bullies? And driving monsters. Just across the water from Hong Kong, on the Chinese mainland, lies a city at the heart of the country's technological revolution. Welcome back to Shenzhen. This is where stuff gets made.
When you think of China's electronics scene, this might be what you think of. Thousands of factories and millions of people mass producing billions of devices.
More than 70% of the world's mobile phones are manufactured in China. Their components, also made locally, are sourced from the city's famous giant electronics markets, where everything is for sale. But all that industry is taking its toll on the city. As the buildings go up to accommodate the influx of businesses, the smog has come down to remind everyone of the price you pay for a rapidly expanding industrial economy. The middle class here is also consuming more power, as well as demanding something else: good quality, homegrown products. And Chinese brands are rising to the challenge, with names like ZTE, Xiaomi and Huawei even breaking out of China and becoming recognised and desired worldwide. One such brand is OnePlus. Now, despite only being 4 years old, it's already turned out a number of phones that have been compared favourably to the top-end Samsungs and iPhones. And this week, it unveiled a brand new handset, the 5T, with all the fanfare that a big phone launch gets these days.
Are you all excited?
The secrecy that surrounds these new phones pre-launch is intense, and let's be honest, it's part of the hype. Ooh, look, it's another black rectangle. But as such, it's really rare to get a look behind the scenes at the design, the manufacture and the launch of a new device. But in Shenzhen, 2 weeks before the unveiling, we were given exclusive access to the inner workings of the production line on the run-up to D-Day.
Now I'm qualified to serve you pastries. They make loads of different types of phones in this factory, so to keep the 5T a secret from all the other workers, everything happens behind the blue shroud of secrecy. Are you ready? Thank you. Come in.
Welcome to Production Line 27.
The phone starts life as just a tiny camera there, and then it's gradually assembled around this U-shaped production line, which means by the time it gets to the end, it's a fully featured phone, just about there.
This is the reason China has come to dominate electronics manufacturing. A ready supply of a disciplined, relatively low-cost workforce. Each person here has one unique job, which requires concentration, speed and precision. A single speck of dust caught in the camera lens and the finished phone will be rejected.
What I found most surprising about this is it's all people. I would have thought with this kind of high precision job, these phones would have been built solely by machines, but it's pretty much all humans.
Each line can produce more than 90 phones an hour. It's exhausting just watching this. Fortunately, the staff get a 2-hour lunch break. And also, suddenly, at 3 p.m,
this might look weird, but having seen how intensive this job is and how much concentration you need, this 10-minute eye break is invaluable. I think if I was doing this job, I just want 10 minutes to kind of get my head down and close my eyes and reset my brain too. Wow.
Now, these people are bringing to life a design that has been anguished over, squeezed for efficiency, and ultimately compromised to keep costs down. I'm meeting with one of the designers to get the inside track on how he's made this black rectangle ever so slightly different from all the others. For every new phone, you come up with lots and lots of different designs like this.
A few hundreds.
Oh my word. Do you think we've achieved peak design now?
In the end, these are all physics. So what interferes with that, what does not, is something that you simply can't change. We are still making some choices, some sacrifices in favor of the beauty of the exterior, still a little bit.
Such as?
Well, such as actually the best place for this would be actually leaning directly on the corner. In our design, we have this angle here. So this does not allow us to directly put this right here.
If you could get rid of one part of the phone to make your camera part better, what would it be? I won't tell anyone.
Maybe the shell?
That's the best answer. Back at the factory, Simon would be horrified by what happens to his design. This is where an unlucky few phones are pulled off the production line to check extreme tolerance.
Ah, that breaks my heart. It's not being dropped flat, is it?
No. With the 5 degrees, you can test the phone more cool. It's under more cool environment. The components will be, shaken a little bit.
Right.
Yeah, more hard.
Elsewhere, other test phones escape that big plunge, but instead are dropped 5,000 times each. Others have their charging ports wiggled and buttons pressed 10,000 times. And then there's the tumble dryer. Only when about 70% of the sample phones start surviving this vigorous testing will a build be deemed successful. For me, this is a fascinating look at how a phone is born. And now that it's been launched, this small pre-production line can expand once the company has an indication of how many orders it will get. And that's the secret, not to produce more than you can sell. So when OnePlus decided to take on the big brands, which can all afford to fail, it decided to sell its first phone by invitation only.
What was the thinking behind that? Because I would have tried to make it as available as possible.
So being a brand new company and not making such a complicated product as a smartphone and being based here, we didn't really have the opportunity to test the product in all the countries where we sold it. And adding to that, we didn't know how many phones to make. If you end up having too many phones in your warehouse that you can't sell, it's over.
With the launch over, OnePlus will nervously await the first reviews and, more importantly, the advance orders. And they will decide whether these people will be joined by hundreds more or not.